became sleep.
Right. Well,
You see what I'm saying?
well, our folks definitely sleeping, man, because I mean, even, in my everyday travels, man, I look at the condition of black people, man. I mean, we've gotten worse, man. I mean, I mean, it seems like the mass of the people is getting worse,
Well, it's prophesied. Now, you got to look at this also. That can also be a shield, a decoy, a protection blanket.
Yeah, for the enlightened ones.
For the enlightened ones.
Mm-hmm.
Let me give you an example. They said in Africa, when Islam took the top part of Africa, from Egypt, Libya, and they just went across, and those particular people that didn't bear witness to Allah died. They cut your head off, or what have you. The Dogon knew that they had to have the Dogon who had come there since the days of Timbuktu was an extension of the Egyptians. They knew that they had to preserve what little knowledge they did have. So what they did is they went very savage. They went crazy.
Mm-hmm.
When they came up and stuff, they looked like they didn't have, there was nothing to be desired. Therefore, the arrogant Arab said, these people don't deserve Islam. They're too savage. And this was a direct strategy of the Dogon to preserve what knowledge they have. Well, the same thing is happening out here with our people. Because you look at our people, even black people look at our people, and we just see savagery.
Mm-hmm. Utter disgust.
Right.
Mm-hmm. But
that is a form of the divinity. You see what I'm saying? That is the form of the divinity. You see, because the simple fact here is, if the European or the ruling class knew that there was any element of us that even resemble closely of rising up as what has been prophesied in these particular texts,
mm-hmm.
you see, he would really put forth a machine to covertly kill us off. Even, although he's doing it anyway, he would really go after certain people, certain people of what I would call the knowledge elite. But what happened was here is our people act so much like a fool. And even when he come in contact with our leaders, the leaders, in response to the European, it is always based on the European's agenda.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So they rarely get a person to stand before them and give the black agenda or a non-Eurocentric agenda. So therefore what it does is it assures the European, or it assures the ruling class. I don't even want to call them ruling class. I want to say, ruling class, because they rule a certain group of people. I would much rather call them ruling class, because that's than powers that be.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? Because I don't want to invoke nothing, you see, as far as having even giving them the power. But the point here is the ruling class, it assures them that we really don't have nothing to worry about when it comes to those Negroes, because everybody we encounter, you see, is subpar. And that's a way of divine protection. You see, that's the way of divine protection. It's almost as if to say, if they had any, what would be the alternatives if we started overtly fulfilling the prophecy? So they say, so you don't take nothing precious and put it in a beautiful gold chained, let's say precious wine, and put it in a beautiful gold bottle. So the thief would come and steal the gold bottle. You would always put it in an old raggedy, chipped up, beat up bottle. You see what I'm saying? A beat up bottle. So that's what's going on as far as what's going on. A lot of this type of stuff here is the divine planning. And no matter how hideous it might look, it's a plan. You see, it's so that we can go unscathed as the people that's doing the actual work. So in so many words, they knew, because in the 1990s they were very afraid of the millennium. So they did pay attention to black conscious groups. So, and as a result, they killed Khaled, they locked up H. Rap Brown, they locked up Dr. York. You see what I'm saying? You see, they took note that John Henry Clark passed 10 years ago, as well as Kwame Ture passed, because this is 2008. They both passed in 88. They took note that they might have bumped off Amos Williams more than likely they did in 1995. But nevertheless, going to the millennium, they were very concerned about a black conscious element. You see, as a matter of fact, Ray Hagan has produced, because he's coming in and doing post 9/11 information where Steve Coakley left off.
Right.
So he's doing post 9/11 information, and the information he's dealing with is based on all these Patriot Acts and these particular laws that's been passed. And a lot of these laws that's been passed, yes, when it all came down, they were very concerned about several black conscious groups. You see, but in some kind of way, those particular groups suffered. And they suffered to the particular point where, as you know, black bookstores closed down, UAM closed down, and a lot of these particular groups suffered and all. And that, in so many words, that was the spirit world saying, hey, you don't have nothing to worry about. And again, the ones who are doing the real work can have a free ticket. You see what I'm saying? You don't have to be harassed by people that's thinking, you know, hey, these people are going to eventually replace us. So the transition to the black nations is very smooth. You see what I'm saying? Very smooth.
But that's that's why I'm just Bob is trying to get it out there, man. Because again, just from my personal experience, it's very few amounts of people that really know what's going on. For instance, when I go to the West Coast, it's like don't nobody know nothing about nothing. It's almost like the conscious community is mainly on the East Coast.
Yeah, it is. In the West Coast, they got small pockets scattered about.
But you go to the West Coast, and it was like, I mean, a lot of them people, they don't know nothing about nothing. I mean, because first of all, if you go to California, Nevada, and them places, they are no real black communities. Blacks are out there, but everything is built around the Spanish people and white folks. Black folks just so happen to be there, and they're not getting this information out there, man. And it's almost like, man, when you go out there and you dialogue with these people, it's almost like you talking to somebody in a whole other dimension. Because if it don't come on the television or on the newspaper, they don't know nothing about it. Period, man. Period whatsoever.